Thank you, Chip. Well, a second case of the dangerous Zika virus is confirmed in Dallas County. It was not transmitted by mosquitoes, but by sex. It was a man who had sexual contact with someone who had recently returned from Venezuela, where the mosquito-borne disease is increasingly common. Now, most people showed no symptoms, but the virus poses a real threat to women who are or may become pregnant. It has been linked to serious birth defects in Latin America. This is the first reported case originating in the U.S.
Anybody in the DFW area, as they travel, to make sure they take precautions against mosquito bites, and also you have to use personal protection if you're engaging in sexual contact if you're going into those endemic countries.
Traditionally, Zika is a very mild disease. About 80% of people who get infected don't even know.
The concern now is that a person unknowingly infected could be bitten by a mosquito, which could then bite and infect more people. The chief of pediatric infectious diseases at Children's Health and professor at UT Southwestern, Dr. Jeffrey Kahn, is here to talk about the concerns about the Zika virus. Thank you so much for being here, first of all. I hear all this and it just sounds super scary because this is just the beginning.
That's right. We know that the Zika virus probably entered Brazil within the last few years, a very short period of time. It spread like wildfire, not only through Brazil, but now we know through most of South America and Central America.
Now, we know with the latest case that sex can transmit this virus. Is it possible that someone infected could be bitten by a mosquito and then that mosquito could then go bite someone on and pass it on?
That's the big fear right now. The big fear is that this virus is going to take a foothold in Texas or the United States. Somebody who's infected with the virus is going to come to the United States, and that individual is going to be bitten by a mosquito that can transmit the virus, bite somebody else, and then we have the life cycle of the virus starting.
Right.
And once that starts, it's almost impossible to eliminate the virus from the population.
So it is carried by mosquitoes. As of right now, no mosquitoes that we know of in this area are carrying it, but really you're saying it's just a matter of time.
We're fortunate right now because obviously there's very little mosquito activity, even with the warm weather that we're experiencing here in North Texas. But once we enter the springtime and the mosquitoes become more active, then the real fear is that the virus is going to enter the population, enter the mosquito population, and then the virus will spread very quickly in the human population.
World Health Organization saying this is a global health emergency right now. They said that their scientists are working on a vaccine, which would really help things. I know when they started looking for an Ebola vaccine, that vaccine came pretty quick. How far off do you think we are from a vaccine on the Zika virus?
Well, from a developmental point of view, there are a number of vaccines that are being developed that may be ready for clinical trials in the near future. The challenge, of course, is going to be to put this out in a study where we're going to be able to look at the most prone population, that would be pregnant women. And there's always a concern about immunizing pregnant women with experimental vaccines. So I think we're still many years off from having an approved vaccine for this virus.
Wow, that is scary. Yeah, pregnant women obviously are the most concerned, should not be traveling to any of the countries where this virus, the Zika virus, is right now.
That's correct. The CDC and the World Health Organization have made that clear, that pregnant women are particularly prone to this virus.
But the majority of people who have Zika virus really have no idea that they have it, it seems. Some of the symptoms that people would look for?
Right. As you mentioned, most people have no symptoms at all.
Right.
Of the people who have symptoms, most of them are mild. Fever, joint pain, maybe some joint swelling, redness of the eyes.
What's your biggest concern with Zika?
The biggest concern, I think, is, as I mentioned earlier, is that the virus is going to take a foothold here in the North Texas area or throughout the United States. As I mentioned, all the ingredients are here. We have a lot of international travel. The virus is spread quite rapidly in South America and Central America. And once the mosquito population gets infected with this virus, it's going to be very, very difficult to eliminate it.
What should people be doing right now? I mean, I can just see in the future that anybody who's pregnant or wants to become pregnant just is going to lock themselves in their house, and that just doesn't seem fair.
Right. So fortunately right now, there's no spread of the virus through mosquitoes in Texas or anywhere else in the United States. Obviously, avoiding the mosquitoes, this is quite easy nowadays, but as we enter the springtime, that'll be more challenging. And of course, limiting travel to areas where the virus is widespread.
Thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate all the information. We're going to put more information, including that came from the CDC and the very latest updates on the local Zika cases on our website, fox4news.com. Thank you very much.